said that Style will be our special guest in the studio today. She's leader of NDP. She's the leader of opposition in Ontario. There are so many issues we can discuss in this interview, but we are focused on most of the issues related to region of Peel and city of Brampton particularly. So, Ms. Style, welcome to Parvasi studio, first of all.
Thank you so much. It is great to be here again, to sit down with you and to be in beautiful Brampton.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, I remember in 2006, we formed Better Healthcare for Bramptonians.
Right, yes.
Okay. I was at the forefront during that agitation, and I still remember that when this Brampton Civic Hospital was being opened, inaugurated, the other hospital was, they were closing down. And our first demand was that Brampton's population has grown so much in these last 25, 30, 40 years. You are giving us one hospital, of course, that's welcome step, but you are snatching the other one. So Brampton needs two hospitals. So why are you closing down Peel Memorial? So they said no. Mr. Bob Richard was, I still remember, he was the CEO of the hospital. Our another demand was that there's a long waiting time in the emergency rooms. So there were so many challenges when this new hospital was opened. And I still remember thousands and thousands of people, they came. It was chilly day. It was minus 30 degree temperature on that day. It was 9th December, I believe, 2006. And next day, our premier of that time, Mr. McGinty, he stood on the floor of the House in the provincial parliament, and he promised that yes, Brampton will be given another hospital very soon. But almost after 18 years, we are still demanding that.
Yeah. It's outrageous. I was actually just looking at the picture, I think, that you have out in the halls here at Parvasi of one of the demonstrations of the march.
Yes.
And you know, it is so frustrating because people in Brampton have been calling for this for, as you said, for decades now.
Yeah.
And government after government, liberal and conservative, they keep promising expansions. They keep promising that the care is going to be there. They keep setting new deadlines, but it never gets done. And what my fear is, and I know well, I'm sure you agree with me on this one, is that the population continues to grow.
Yeah.
And we haven't even addressed current demand, let alone what the demand is going to be in 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
We should be building for the future right now, not still waiting for them to expand Peel Memorial. I think that government needs to, first of all, start to acknowledge the reality that is facing Brampton. And that means understanding what the population actually is here in the city. We believe that they're making all of their projections and their decisions based on numbers that are old. We believe that they're taking Brampton for granted. And it really means that over the next couple of years, we're going to ramp up our pressure to continue to push not just for the expansion of Peel Memorial, but, you know, to look at whether or not Brampton's going to need yet another hospital. Because by the time that one's done, we are definitely, I think, going to need another one.
Even a couple of weeks back, I got a few pictures saw yesterday and reporting that lots of Bramptonians, senior particularly, they got together, they demonstrated again outside Brampton Civic Hospital for those demands, the same demand which we were asking almost 18 years back. It's really so frustrating. We are getting hospital, but as far as we understand, it's not a full-fledged hospital.
Right. Yes.
So 250 beds, and we're still not clear when we are going to get it.
Yeah, that's right. And there was nothing, I think, in the budget again this time. We don't have answers. The government is taking Brampton for granted. It's very simple. I think the government, both liberal and conservatives, have continued to take this community for granted. They think that they can get away with pushing this back because maybe they think that other communities are going to be noisier. Look, we need to build and we need to expand healthcare based on need. The need is here. We also, by the way, have to look at primary care. Right now, too many people in Brampton don't have access to family doctors. We need to expand access to primary care dramatically. And also, by the way, in the languages that people speak. That means creating more family health teams so that people can have access to that care right away. Because look, the truth is, if we don't address that as well, then we're going to have more people getting more sick, and that's going to cause even further complications in our emergency rooms.
Okay. And coming back to the fair share, I mean, Peel has always been, the region of Peel is demanding that, keeping in mind the challenges Peel is facing now. As you said, most of the immigrants who are coming to Canada are settling here in Brampton and particularly in Peel region.
Yes.
So Peel has its own, problems, issues, many, crime, health, education, you name it. So as a leader of the opposition, how you can, raise these demands and how you can help?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that that's why I come here to Brampton, right?
Okay.
I'm coming at least once a month, more often if I can, not just to come here and sell an idea to people, but to actually listen and learn about what's happening on the ground. Because I don't think that the government is meeting the needs of people here. And that's what I'm hearing every time I'm in Brampton. I just met this morning with the Brampton Board of Trade, with local businesses doing really exciting things, innovative things in healthcare, in transportation, in technology. And they're frustrated because once again, the government isn't moving forward on transit, on transportation, on healthcare, on housing, which are all really important to making sure that people want to come here, work here, live here. And that's really important for the workforce needs of those companies. This is something that is specific to Brampton. We see similar challenges across the province, certainly, but it's really important that in opposition, we have the voice of Brampton on the floor of the legislature. And as you know, all of the seats here right now are blue. All of the seats are conservatives. And so we really have to work extra hard to bring transparency and accountability to the government as the opposition. So the NDP, that's what we're doing. I'm going to be here all the time. I'm going to be listening to people. I'm going to be learning, and I'm going to be taking those voices and those priorities back to Queen's Park, and I'm going to be forcing the government to listen.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Stiles. And I still remember at one time, you brought a motion, NDP brought a motion that 407 should be allow all those, our truckers, our people from the transportation industry, they should be allowed to use the 407. It's a welcome step, but we don't know the outcome of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the government unfortunately voted against our motion, which I think is very short-sighted. Look, the reason we're proposing this is that the 413 is going to take years. We don't even know how long, and we don't know how much it's going to cost. And frankly, we think that this would provide immediate relief. We don't need to wait 10, 20 years to provide some relief to people who are stuck in traffic getting home to see their kids. We need to make sure that people are moving faster, more easily. So let's free up some of that room on the 401 by moving traffic over to the 407. And what our proposal is to eliminate the tolls. No more tolls for trucks on the 407. Government could make that happen tomorrow. They're just choosing not to. So we've got this practically empty highway, right? A plane actually landed on the 407. It's that empty, and it's not being used. So let's start by using some of our roads better for everybody, and let's get people home faster.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to add? As you said that you're coming regularly to Brampton, to Peel region, and you're listening to people of this area, and you're trying to raise their voice in the parliament. provincial parliament. Anything you want to add at that?
Well, I would say as well, I'm very aware that crime, particularly auto theft,
Crime
is a
is
huge issue here.
Both are big
and
issues.
it's scary for a lot of people,
Scary.
right? It's one of the things we just raised. We're trying to find some solutions. I know that there are lots of people looking at how to prevent this. I think there's a lot more that the provincial government, the Conservatives, could be doing right now. One of our MPPs, Jennifer French from Oshawa, brought forward a question yesterday, asked the government, look, can we start to do inspections of vehicle identification numbers,
Yes.
VINs? Government just rejected that outright, said, oh no, we're just talking tough on law and order, but they're not doing the practical things that could help us to prevent theft and track down the offenders. And so I think, we put forward practical solutions like this. I'm not interested right now in getting super partisan. I want to make sure that we're bringing forward ideas that the government could do today to make life better for people, to protect people, to make them feel safer in their communities, and to save them some money, frankly, too, because everybody is really struggling right now with the cost of housing, cost of living, cost of groceries, and having to add things like auto theft onto the pressure that people are dealing with. That's just not acceptable. We need to find a way, and we all need to get around the table to find those solutions.
Thank you so much. And as you rightly said that people of Peel region, particularly in Brampton, they're so scared in their own houses, they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Anytime there can be robbery, anytime there can be carjacking. We are raising this issue for a long time with all the politicians, even with Prime Minister, even with the Premier, everybody.
Yeah.
But so far, we have not been able to get any relief.
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating.
It's really frustrating.
Because I think, I know that, Doug Ford and the Conservatives, they like to talk tough on crime, but people are feeling less safe today after 6 years of this government than they ever have. Their life is more expensive than it's ever been. The wait for healthcare is longer than it's ever been. The class sizes that our kids are in schools are bigger than they've ever been. Life is not good right now for a lot of people in Ontario. And I really think that, I believe we need a change. And I think the NDP has some of the answers to some of these problems that are out there. So we're going to keep pushing the government to move faster in a better direction. And then we're going to keep building our plan to make life better for people in 2026.
Thank you so much, and we'll keep talking to you.
Whenever
you are in this area, you are always welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, Sanji, Marit Stiles, leader of NDP, leader of opposition, Ontario.